with Katie Bowman.
All right.
We're good to go whenever you guys
Man, I did not know how to make crack, but now I do.
Thank God. All right. Yeah. Stick with me, kid. All
Okay,
right.
no, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, and we're back with another episode of Help Me, I'm Scared with Katie Bowman. I'm your host, Katie Bowman. We got JD in the house, my lovely producer.
Hello.
Boop-a-doo. And yes, this is a Left Hand Right Brain production. I'm so excited for this episode today. We did a movie that I don't know if I've seen. It's like familiar to me, but I can't remember. There's only a couple scenes that I was like, I feel like I've seen that. But also a first timer on the podcast, Joshua Emerson.
Hello. How you doing? Hello.
Boop-a-doo.
Sorry, a little late.
Yeah,
I was
it was
adjusting one of the cameras. Sorry.
It's
I'm taking it
okay.
personally, for sure. All right.
Just louder. Huh?
Honestly, it sounds sarcastic.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's because I kept doing it accidentally. I'd be like, give it a 4. And then I'm like, wait, we're in a podcast.
Yeah, she can't get out of like hosting shows mode.
I like how it's pulled up on YouTube, but you
It's
just
in
don't
there.
have the sound saved.
Why would I save it? It's on YouTube.
I guess that's true.
I mean, save it where?
You
I
got
don't have a
computer.
soundboard or something. You know?
Do-do-do. You could.
Shigga,
You
shigga,
should.
shigga.
It's on the computer. The computer has it. It's just stored on YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, wait. Do you prefer, I can't ever remember this. Do you prefer to go by Joshua or Josh?
So I don't really care.
You don't care. Okay.
I always introduce myself as Joshua because I was raised Christian. You know what I mean? So yeah, the full name.
The
Yeah,
full name.
yeah.
totally.
But Josh, I mean, that's what. Nobody calls me by my first name. Nobody's
know, I
like,
call
"What's
you
up, Josh?"
Emerson.
Yeah.
And when I bring you on stage, so Joshua Danger Emerson?
Yeah, so like the Danger Emerson is mostly for socials. It's not like a persona. It's not like Beyonce.
Danger is a middle name? Or-
No, it's not my. I wish.
Oh my
No,
God. I
that
thought it was your real middle name for
Thank
this
God.
whole time.
Tell people that though. Okay. It was a lie I started telling in high school. That it was like Danger's my middle name. And so then when I got my Facebook in high school, I was like Joshua Danger Emerson.
I thought it was real.
I would say that when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
The D stands for danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
Yeah.
you guys.
You would have believed me as a kid.
I don't
'cause I
have
sold it.
anything. I'm
Yeah,
just,
with that mustache. Yeah, I bet you had that mustache for 23 years now.
I
I
wish.
wish.
I'm just a white little Catherine Ann.
Catherine Ann? That sounds Catholic.
I was raised Catholic.
Oh, where are you meet?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't raised
Well,
Catholic.
And then
but-
my family all kind of stopped being Catholic, except my brother's still Christian or something right now.
My dad went the other way. He went on a pilgrimage in southern Spain a week ago, just like working in hospitals. He's retired now.
Okay, but he's going Christian. You said another way or different? He
Like
went
fully
Going
Catholic.
Christian.
Okay.
Yeah.
fully Catholic, going Catholic.
Going
Yeah.
Christian's
Show.
a different Eat, Pray, Love type of book.
Yeah, going Catholic.
Yeah.
No, so my family is I was born in Philadelphia.
Well, don't worry about that. I'll get it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My family was born we're all from Philly, and then we moved to Texas when I was really young. But so in Philly, the Catholic priests being pedos is really bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And so when it came out as being public, I think it was a really high number, 69 active priests were
Nice.
considered they were considered. Sorry, I'm so ADHD.
Yeah,
The camera fell for listeners, and I'm literally watching.
And you're like,
You're like
69 active pedophiles in the clock. I'm sorry. Could you fix that camera? The people need to hear this.
I was just should I stop? I don't know why I
missed
felt that way.
nice. I felt bad. I was right in your camera.
I said it.
I was
Then
like,
nobody else. Whatever. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
so
back to
the
priests.
pedos. Yeah, there's a lot from Philly, and so I think my whole family just kind of lost faith.
Oh, that's tough.
after it.
Yeah. No,
And-
the hypocrisy's real. You can't.
And I mean, I always questioned shit when I was a little kid. I just didn't understand how they my friends would talk about people going to hell, and I'm like, shut up. They're too
Sure.
nice. How are they going to hell? That's what I would say.
Isn't that what purgatory's for?
I don't
Right?
know.
And
I
that's
also
like if
like,
you weren't baptized or you did a lot
Yeah,
of like
I thought it was just,
lower
get it-
level sins. But
Exactly. And yeah, I feel like blowing someone is a lower level sin.
one of
I
my
feel
friends who ended up being like a different type of branch of Christianity, not Catholicism, but she went to like this like Christian school where you had to like sign a waiver that you wouldn't listen to rap music.
Like,
and
oh
shit.
damn.
And I remember she was talking about people going to hell, and I was like, she told me my Jewish friend was going to hell, and I was like, no, she's not.
No, she's not.
And it made me really upset, and I was like, we gotta be questioning these things. So I don't know. I feel like I fell asleep in church. Sorry.
so you're definitely going to hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a hell baby.
I like Catholic Church. People push back on this, but I like the ceremony. Like, light some incense. All right, give me a sense of like I know exactly where we are in Mass and how close I am to being done.
That's true.
Like, there is like a sense of like just counting down. I was like, all right, we're holding hands. We're almost out of here. Okay,
Yeah.
holding hands. You kneel, and then you eat the crackers, and then I'm out of here.
Yeah. Then there's
Nice.
donuts in the lobby.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
You
didn't
know
get
what's
donuts at
crazy
ours.
though? Did you ever go with your friends to their churches?
No.
No? Oh my God. In Texas, they're like, it's a smorgasbord of Christianity. There's all kinds of things you can go to.
That's true.
I went to like so many of my friends' Sunday church things, and I remember just being like, this is so different. People are fucking seasoned and shit, or they're dancing. It's like a combination sometimes of like them falling down in season from the Lord. Or
I love an evangelical church. I love that like energy.
yeah, that
that's
kind of was like, wow.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I feel the spirit. Yeah,
I was
love
like,
that.
can you feel it like that?
If you're doing it right.
Yeah, man.
And so that there's a lot of that in Texas.
That's fair.
I went to this church for teens, and they called it the Neoplex,
That sounds bad.
and I loved it because there's all these like young teens there. But then like I was like, wait, what are we doing? We're like singing this whole time, which is kind of fun. But like,
Sounds like a
What did you
Meow
think you should
Wolf
be doing the whole
bit,
time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they would
Sucking
tell
and
a
fucking?
story. They would tell a story, and then we'd all sing songs together, and then they would do this like they'd be like, also we're all going on this trip to talk about sinning.
Interesting.
And then it would be this like trailer for this like it's almost like a haunted house but for Christianity, you know? Like they'd be like you walk by some teens who got in a drinking and driving accident.
Oh yeah.
And then you walk by someone who's pregnant or
Sounds
something.
just like Meow Wolf, actually.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
just
Yeah,
like that.
that's like
Yeah.
very intense. Nah, we do like
Like
overnight
now-
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Catholic Church, you know, it's like you're not going to be doing any of that shit. So it is low key. I just thought it was so boring.
I also have a different. So I went to a Jesuit high school.
Oh my
and
god.
stuff, which are like
so
liberal,
did my brother.
liberal, like, and so my dad still goes to a Jesuit parish. So like he wants me to be gay just to be like, God is love, you know, I accept everybody. Yeah, he's like he's the godparents to the gay couple's
So
kid.
it's like a liberal Jesuit school?
Yeah, it's very liberal.
Oh
yeah,
my god, that's so
Brophy-
different. The one my brother went to is like I feel
I-
like it fucked him up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, it's all about the people. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's where evil resides, is in people's
Mhm.
hearts, man. But this
I thought
one,
it was in money.
yeah, that's true. That's the root of all evil. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the plant. I
It's
think.
the 7 deadly sins.
That's right. Smart. Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
That was
brought it all
smooth. I was gonna try to bring up Shazam in the conversation, but you beat me to
no
it.
way. It's just oh my god, that's so funny. No, that's it's crazy. I mean, I still have that shame.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but I
Good.
feel like the shame. Yeah. You gotta have it. You gotta have a little shame.
Nah, I mean, I told my dad that I was doing OnlyFans. I told my dad, that I did that kink show last night. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really hide stuff from him.
You
He
said
doesn't
it
really
like in
guilt
an
me.
aggressive way.
Yeah,
Guess
yeah,
what, Dad?
Guess what, Dad?
You know what I'm doing?
Yeah,
But
I-
I'm still not gay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I made out with Elliot on stage, and then I tagged him.
Yeah, I
in
was
it,
there
you
that
know,
night.
so,
It
yeah.
was aggressive.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I felt like it was cheating. You guys cheated.
with our partners, from our partners.
No, just to get more points on that show.
To get more points.
Because it was
on
the
this show?
It was the
we did something
thing,
really interesting
guys,
that got more
I mean,
points.
you guys didn't do comedy. You did something else on stage. Yeah.
Oh, God forbid we blow past what
you're
the
about to blow on
ideas
stage to
that
get more
most people have.
points.
God forbid we think about new ideas and then push the envelope, man. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was a comedy show.
Anyways, funny Final Four champions.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
Did you win?
We
You
won
went
the
all the
whole
way?
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, about time you
Yeah,
said
you blew
so.
him on stage, huh?
Yeah,
to get that.
You wish.
Oh my God.
But he had a great set after that. Like,
He
you
did.
lit a fire in him. It's like you gave him.
Well, because the energy.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Katie.
the sexuality energy is definitely it's fun to play off.
I think the crowd likes it. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets the people going.
That's what's so annoying about all this shit too with like drag. I'm like, you guys have been doing it forever and you fucking love it. Like people go crazy when there's a kiss on stage and like anything, like theater.
It's true.
I feel like people start clapping when you go see like they're like, ha ha ha, the kiss. You know.
It goes to the
and
live
if it's a make out,
energy.
they're like, ah! You know, like just a little what?
Start wolf whistling.
Okay, we should get into this. We should get into this film.
Yeah, sure.
So Josh told me that
The film is 7.
the film is 7
Yeah.
and it's spelled, the V is a 7, and it's a 1995 film directed by David Fincher, and it's got a really packed cast. It's got Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, Kevin Spacey, Gwyneth Paltrow, and then 2 actors I don't know, Daniel Zacapa. It's like a Italian name. Zacapa. Okay, and then John Cassini. So this movie came out when I was 5. Wait, how old are you?
So I'm turning 32 in a
Oh
month.
my God, you're the same age.
Okay.
Did you see this when you were a child?
No. So the
Okay.
first time I saw this, I was like 19. So I was like in college.
Okay, totally. That's a good time. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know if I've ever seen this movie. When I looked it up, I was like, is it horror? He was like, it's a thriller. And then Google had it down as like a crime mystery. But then after watching it, I was like, that's definitely spooky enough to be in the horror realm. And sometimes I've said this before, you guys. I feel like some dramas and some like drama has like such horrific stuff happen in it that it like it like scares me and stays with me longer than like actual horror films sometimes.
Really?
Yes. Like I'm trying to think of that movie with, I think it's actually Brad Pitt again. Where is it? Babel?
Yeah, the
yeah,
one.
like that movie is really traumatic. My Girl really crushed me as a child. Selena crushed me as a child.
Really? Just because it was like such a betrayal of like.
Oh my God, yeah, but also
like-
it's like that's terrifying. Like that's like when the monster's inside the house, you know? It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, like drama can be horrific to me in a way that like it really stays with you.
Horror is so hard for me. The last time I
Yeah.
watched a horror film, I was 17. I was living in Wales, and like the British people, they were like, let's bring the foreigners out on a movie date. I'm like, that's great. And then we watched a horror film and I screamed the whole time.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, and I'm
Wait,
so-
how
I'm
old were
loud,
you?
too.
How old were you?
17.
Okay, 17.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's just me and my Japanese roommate. I'm like, ah! Ah! Just freaking out. This Japanese
Oh my God,
boy
I
that
would love
just
that.
pork and taro.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And so I haven't done it since
What
then.
movie was it?
It was The Strangers.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
so definitely like jump scares and stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's so funny. Yeah, I feel like being scared. So do you like, would you go to like a haunted house or anything like that?
No. Just because I feel like I'm gonna like instinctively like punch somebody in the face.
Yeah,
All
know,
right.
Sammy told me that. He was like, horror gets me angry. And
Yeah,
was
I just
like-
want to like
and I was like, gets you
I've
angry.
talked about this a lot in therapy. I think it comes from a sense of powerlessness.
Yeah, right.
So you get angry about it because, it's internalized.
Sure.
You can't do anything about it, so you just
Wow.
get mad.
It's not even like anger. It's more like aggression. You know what I mean?
You're like, you're not gonna fuck with
Yeah.
me. You're not gonna fuck with me.
Just or even just like
Why are
it's
you
like,
so
pop, pop,
scary?
pop, pop. Yeah.
I'll kill
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that is so
Oof.
You know, the
The-
last episode we got in, I had my 2 friends from college on, and we got deep, and I recalled going to Universal Studios, and like I had a couple of blackout moments. Like I think I got so
Oh,
scared
really?
that I like blacked it out of my brain.
Damn.
But I remember like just going in the line.
Tell him what ride it was.
And so the Twilight Zone ride,
Oh,
the Tower of
really?
Terror. I don't like those drops. I've done some recently. I've Lakeside, the one that drops
Yeah.
down, and every time I do it, I'm like my body feels fucked after that. But when I was a kid, I like loved the Twilight Zone movies and like all the spookiness.
Mhm.
So I was like, and I loved like the spooky aesthetic, but I was so frightened from the ride itself, and I was like, I can't do it. And so I've like remembered my whole life just being like, I never rode it. And then I was talking about that with my sister the other day, and she's like, no, we got you on the ride, you rode it. So I just like blacked it out of my memory.
That's crazy.
And then we went to this alien ride in Universal Studios, and we watched like a YouTube of it. And my friend was like, that's very scary for an elementary school kid. And I was like, oh, it was. Or like, no one. And I was like, maybe that's why I like horror so much, because I got like extremely scared at a young age, and now I'm just like kind of numb from it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're trying to
She
like
fried or
something. Yeah, the inner child.
The inner child got fried.
Exactly. And then
Yeah. And now it's
it's
like
like an itch now.
what? Yeah, now I'm like into it. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
when you got spanked as a
Mm.
kid and you like getting spanked as an adult.
Yeah, it's trauma.
Sure.
That's called trauma.
Yeah, you're like, come on, hit me.
Hit me.
So Se7en is a mystery movie.
Yeah, this is crime mystery here on the.
And it's a
IMDb.
crime mystery. Yeah, but it actually is pretty scary. That's where I'm not. But and I would say it's a drama too, because there's a lot of drama in it.
It's true.
Um,
Also, Kevin Spacey as like
he's
the
so scary.
murderer.
Look at him. Look
What
at those
happened to him?
murderous
He's
eyes.
so good.
Yo,
He got
should be more things.
canceled.
yeah, knowing now what I know then.
Rewatching it.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Did you
right?
rewatch it? by the
A
way?
little bit. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rewatching it with him, I was like,
It's like,
that's psychopath.
Absolutely. This one and American Beauty. Like,
Oh
they're
my god, I
both-
can't even rewatch
Yeah,
American Beauty. Like after
'cause-
that came out, all I saw was like his face in American Beauty. Like,
Is-
ugh, like,
I know, because he plays that
Ugh.
character. Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh.
like he got canceled for being
Yeah.
like a huge creep.
Yeah. To men.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say then it's not like American Beauty at all. He would have been going after that boy.
That's right.
Well,
That's
she had a very boyish face. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Hey,
Mer,
no,
mer,
but
mer,
she-
this is a soundboard.
Hey, I'm
moment.
saying like she could have an androgynous face. You know what I mean? Like, but she kind of has like, to me, features like what's that little boy? He was in so many fucking things.
You think that's a boy face?
That I think she looks like the girl from the Mad Men, but like
Oh,
Mina Suvari?
Savari.
Yeah.
Mina Savari. You know, when she was in the show, she was a lot
Yeah,
younger
Elizabeth
looking.
Moss.
When she was really, she does kind of look like her. Oh my god, they do look like each other, but they
Yeah.
totally could be boys if you just cut off their head.
yeah,
mean,
maybe it's
cut
the
off
jaw
their
too.
hair.
Wow,
Cut off-
wow. Okay, you got a Kevin Spacey over here. Okay,
Yeah,
yo,
really
I
sunk
don't
in
have any
deep.
boxes right now. Okay, that's fucking.
Okay, earlier I said, "Is this eligible instead of legible?" And Brad goes, "You mean legible?" And I was like, "Why did I know the difference? Like, why did I?" And he goes, "It's okay. You've told me you're dyslexic." And he just like pours himself a cup of coffee. And I was like, "Fuck you!"
Just so casually being like, "Oh yeah,
It's your disability.
that's funny."
I know.
That's weird. Yeah,
I just did it again. Okay, so
shout out Brad.
be
Yeah, shout out
rad.
Brad.
Be rad.
Does he get enough love on this podcast?
It's a lot.
He does.
Okay,
He's good.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Not as much love as I'm about to give Morgan Freeman. It was so fun seeing him in this
Yeah,
role. I'm totally
young.
kidding too, by the way, but like I just fucking love Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And it's
The
like
freckles.
he's such a little treasure. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is literally when they're at the dinner table and he starts cracking up about the train.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, look at him laughing. He's so cute. Like, he's just the cutest. Okay, anyway. that's like the sweetest this movie gets. Okay.
Yeah.
So this movie, JD, you said you haven't seen Seven.
No.
That's so funny. Mallory was like, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I feel like this movie would fuck with you, even though it's not. JD hates horror too.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
I know. I feel like it's such a gift when I have someone on that also hates horror. Because JD's like,
That's
right,
scary.
let's get her.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Little cutie. Morgan
She's like, this was
Freeman.
so funny when this happened. I'm like, this sounds
Terrifying.
like torture porn. She's like, it was so
my-
funny.
Wait, what's the torture porn you're talking about?
I
Also,
don't
look
know.
at-
It's
look at-
specific.
Is
I
he
was
writing
talking
on a
about, okay, I was
typewriter?
talking about this part in Midsummer where this person jumps off of a cliff, but it looks like they zoom out and it almost looks like a little claymation piece falls off the cliff.
Oh, okay.
And so
Even
it
in,
was
like-
funny in a way of like the way it was edited.
Even like in Event Horizon, his eyes are all ripped out and he's got like all this shit. And you're like, it looks so funny.
Okay, can we
It
look
looks
that up?
hilarious.
Can we
No,
look
I don't
that
want to. It's embedded in my mind.
This is a problem. Just kidding. But it's so fake. It looks like Spirit Halloween costumery.
Yeah, like it's kitschy.
Yes.
At that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
that's why I was like, it's
Oh.
funny. The parts I say that are funny, it's because of like the filming tech, you know, like some of it's so fake that I can
Yeah.
laugh at it because it's so silly. And I also just love the spirit of
Damn.
it. I love the spirit of it. Okay, that is not the part that I was like, this is funny.
Oh, damn. That's such an
it's a
intense
part.
movie. I've
Okay,
never
that's
seen this
literally
movie.
this. Okay, Event Horizon's crazy too.
Is it?
We just talked about it on the pod. It's about this part where like Sam Neill's character is like not facing Lawrence Fishburne. And it's a crazy movie, but the effects are really funny. And then he's like, he turns around and he's like, has no eyes, like he clawed out his own eyes. And Lawrence Fishburne's character is like, what happened to your eyes? And he's like, ha ha, where we're going, we won't need eyes. And I think that's the funniest thing. I've
What
ever
type
heard.
of goddamn Back to the Future bullshit is that?
It is, yeah.
Ah!
Okay,
Damn.
but I mean it's fake. Like you could tell that's a costume, right?
Oh yeah, that's just. I mean,
Okay. So, okay.
still gnarly.
So we go through the plot of the movie lightly for JD to catch up, and then we'll talk some more, and we can just talk about it. Feel free to help me with this plot. So it
Okay.
starts off in an unidentified city. Do you know what city that was? Do you think it was Portland?
No, I thought
Or
it was
Seattle?
somewhere. I thought it was like El Paso. Like I thought it was maybe not, but it's like I feel like it was like
It could have been like
Urban.
Philadelphia too. Like I was trying to think of like
where it could be. Yeah, definitely. It definitely had like a lot of like old buildings and stuff like that.
yeah. So I was like, it could be
Yeah.
the East Coast, but it also could be like somewhere it rains a lot.
Yeah,
It was
Google's
just-
saying New York City.
Yeah, and that's what I looked at and I was like, New York, interesting. I guess it
Yeah.
could be
Yeah,
like Queens,
baby.
Yeah, and so we don't know. I love when it's like a fake city or something. But it starts off at a crime scene and you see Morgan Freeman getting ready to go to work and they're walking through this house and the whole family's dead. And at one point, Morgan Freeman, who goes by Somerset, he's Detective Somerset, he's like, did the kid see it? But the kid, I guess, is dead. And then the other detective is like, what kind of question is that? You know, everyone's going to be so happy when you're gone because you ask dumb questions like that. And it's just like, okay, what the fuck is this guy's problem?
I know he's retiring. You're like roasting him.
I know. And then I was like, I just have no idea. They don't even elaborate on like that whole part, which was kind of, I was like, why are they being so mean? But Morgan Freeman's just like, like doesn't even care. He's just like, you know, he's enlightened and he's above everyone. And so then we get a cute little morning scene, and it is Detective Mills, who's Brad Pitt, and Tracy, his wife, and they're just waking up and he's going into work, and it's like clear that he just moved to this town that Morgan Freeman is in. And then so it starts off with them meeting each other, and Detective Mills is like, all right, let's go to work. And Morgan Freeman's like, are you sure you want to be here? And so there's like this little power dynamic kind of fight go on a little bit. And he's just like, I just don't think you're gonna want to be here. Like, and I'm trying to remember. Does he try to get him reassigned before or after the first crime scene?
I think it's after the first
Yes,
one.
the first crime scene. So they go into the first crime scene, and it's this horrific crime scene, totally 1995. That's this guy who is like really of size, you know, like he's probably 400 pounds.
He's fat. Yeah.
He's a fat man, and he is like head first in like a bowl of food, and he's tied to a chair with like barbed wire, and like all his veins are all fucked up, and they're like looking at stuff, and there's a bucket next to him, and Brad Pitt like puts his face in it, and he's like, it's vomit. It's like, what do you think the bucket is gonna be? Like, it's obviously shit.
Why are you putting your face in there?
I know. He's like, oh my god, it's vomit. He like basically he gave himself like a swirly in the vomit. Okay, anyway. And then he and then Somerset is just like, can you go outside? He just doesn't want to deal with him because he doesn't think he's ready for this shit. And he's insulted, and he's like, listen, don't jerk me off, okay? And he's like, I just really, and that, yeah, I think that's when they get into it. And then they go back to the office, and he's like, I think he should be reassigned. Like, you shouldn't have to deal with this. Like, why is he here? And he's honestly, like, even then, I feel like it's like, okay, he's clearly trying to save you.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting because it's that dynamic of like the elderly black detective, you know, like I'm too old for this shit.
Very Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Training Day, like brand new white boy detective, like starry eyed.
Yes,
it is interesting because I feel like that's like a classic motif.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt does such a good. Okay, also you could do a drinking game out of this movie for how many PC, non-PC things Detective Mills says.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's not.
I'm like, whoa, we are saying all the words back.
That's right, man. This is the 90s, baby.
He's like using the F word, he's using the R word, and then he's just saying, he's like, that fat piece of shit. Like, he's just talking about, he's like fat shaming. It's crazy. But his heart's in the right place, you know. He's like my brother. Anyway, so yeah, my brother's dumb. Okay, so
good, I got that on record.
We are in a fight right now. He came out as pro-life on the day Roe v. Wade got overturned.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
That's yeah. Bad
and
timing.
I've been working at Planned Parenthood for 6.5 years. He never told me.
Damn.
It's like the day the government's like, guess what? We didn't do it. You know, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm with these guys. It's like literally scream. He's inside the house. You thought you were like,
damn.
Cool. We got into it too. He also in a family group chat.
Oh, really?
Like
so,
like
mom, everybody's like watching the conversation.
Yeah,
like,
and my mom sent out this message that was like, "I'm disgusted by this government. I llove you guys. If you ever need anything, I'm here."
Okay.
And he's like, "Y'all know this is good, right?"
Damn.
And we were like, I was sleeping, and then I know it's gonna be a bad day when I wake up to Brad. This has happened multiple times where he's like, your family group chat's going off.
Really? Oh, is he in it?
Yeah, he's in it. So
damn.
Which Brad is like my savior. So like, I'm like, you know, after we start dating, the codependency, that's where the codependency shines the most. Because I feel like we're pretty independent partners, but I do not like going home without him. And I haven't since we've been dating.
Like to your parents' house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm like, if he's here, everything's gonna be, you know, I have someone on my side.
Yeah, someone on your side, someone you can like talk to, and then somebody that's also there in the room to like not make sure nothing pops off in a weird way.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. I mean, it might be. Because if you guys are independent otherwise, but that just seems like a partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you guys are a team.
No, yeah, he cares about me.
Yeah.
And he'll step in if he's like, you know, he'll be like, listen, you know, like, and it's just also makes me feel not crazy. Because sometimes there's a lot of gaslighting that happens, and I'm like, am I?
I mean, for you to be working at Planned Parenthood for 6 years and then to have this terrible thing happen where people's rights are like taken away, and then your brother to be positive about that's tough, man.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how long has he felt like that?
Yeah, and like he couldn't fucking. It just made me realize how much I was like,
damn,
I didn't even know you. And then he was like trying to be like, You'll notice, and my sister is arguing him. Eddie's arguing him, my brother-in-law, and then he's like, "You guys, I just don't believe in hurting anyone. It's killing a life."
But it is hurting people.
And
though.
it's like, no, you're hurting. Like, he doesn't even understand. And then it just was like fucking crazy. I was like, what the
Damn.
fuck? He doesn't even, he was like, I was like, I didn't realize you were this religious still. And he was like, I'm not religious. It's science. I was like, don't bring,
Oh,
I literally have a joke about it now. I'm like, don't bring science in on this.
right,
Like,
yeah.
and my sister was like, yeah, he's like, there's cells in there, right? And my sister's like, yeah, there's cells in our shit, but that's not a viable life either. Like,
yeah.
it's not a viable life until after 8 weeks. Like, it's like a while. And also, the fetus can't feel pain up to 23 weeks. So, like, and it's just none of your business. If people are getting a late term abortion, it's probably because of something terrible. So it's just no one's business. And so, anyway, we went back and forth, and then he called my job. He was like making fun of my job working there and calling it like line work and shit. And like,
Damn.
I was like, also like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, line work, you fucking, he's like rich and shit too. So I don't know. He's like, doesn't, I feel like he's just been hanging out with a lot of like fucking Rogan listeners and like listening to podcasts and shit.
It's easy to get ingrained.
And he's in
weird
Houston,
thinking.
Texas. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
like,
They out there.
and yeah, he's just like, you know, he's fried from that shit. But he's also like a rich white boy. And it's so funny because he treats my mom like shit.
Damn.
And they got into it. And then at one point he was like, I want you to know, like, my success has nothing to do with you. It's like, oh,
Jesus.
they paid for your fucking high school. They paid for, you went to private high school.
Oh,
Okay. And then you also went to college and they paid for that. And then you stayed with them after you graduated for years rent free. Like, oh, they didn't help you, you piece of shit.
That's all insecurity, man. That's all that is. Which one of the 7 deadly sins is he most like?
My brother, I would say pride.
Pride?
I would say pride and greed.
Yeah, because that's a big part of this movie is like,
yeah,
the killer like sets up like these murders like in like whatever sin that they're doing. So like the fat boy was gluttony.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get back to this. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's hard. That's sorry.
No.
Your brother.
I'm like, I will go off.
Fuck himself, I guess.
But yeah, he is very much like this detective.
I did think of a joke where you're like, fetuses can't feel pain for 23 weeks or whatever, and a fetus told me that. just for in the joke, maybe a tag. I don't know.
I'll write that down.
Yeah,
oh, not for you, bro.
Why I can't do abortion material?
He can't talk to fetuses
You can try
too.
You don't know my
And my
culture.
friend told me that.
Okay, wait. So, but he is so much like this cop. I just kept being like, my brother would do everything this cop did.
Really?
Okay.
I mean, if he's married to Gwyneth Paltrow, good for him.
Yeah, that's like the one thing. My brother's wife is hot.
Does it make you mad that your brother's wife is hot? It's like, you don't deserve her. You don't.
She's very sweet, and it's just a whole other thing. We
Could you
gotta
pull up
stick
a
to this
picture-
movie, you guys.
Could you pull up a picture of
his
Katie's?
brother's wife?
Yeah,
I think it's
please,
a
real
little bit
quick.
harder to
It's
find.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh,
There
okay,
you
that's
go.
what she looks like.
Well, I just said she's a good-looking lady, my brother's wife, but like very, long hair.
Okay.
She's like a southern lady.
Oh.
She's a cute little.
Is Texas the South?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Texas.
I mean,
the
it's
South.
the bottom of the
No,
state.
East Texas is the South.
East Texas is the South.
Yeah,
Like Texas is the South.
I would
But-
okay.
Okay.
disagree.
But I mean, she grew up.
I just looked up Western versus Midwestern states yesterday, so I was sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
Nebraska is
thinking
not
about-
Western.
been thinking
Kansas is
about-
not Western.
Sorry, Katie.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's like the end of the South. I feel like, but it depends where part of Texas you're in, I guess too. I
Yeah,
mean, there
El
are-
Paso is not the South, and it's like on the border. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
very west. That's West Texas.
Texas is on this map. Texas is part of the South.
Yeah,
I disagree.
it is part of it. But I mean, and there's a lot going
Alright.
on. Texas is a weird state, man. But so anyway, at the crime scene. Okay, so after that crime scene, they go to the autopsy and they found out that he died by being like forced. Like the person was forcing him to eat, whoever killed him, with a gun to his head. And
They learned that from the autopsy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Eesh.
they said that it was like possible that he was eating for like 12 hours straight, and then he
Jeez.
passed out, and at some point his stomach burst. And
I've
then
been there.
Yeah.
so like that
Been there,
okay, wait. And so then after that, that's when they go to the police captain. The captain's just a douchebag. He's like just being like, I got nobody, blah blah blah. And like there's just nothing to be had there. And so it's just weird. Things are weird. And then they get to the second crime scene. So they're kind of both working separately for that part, which is sad, You're like, oh man, let's work together, guys. But they're doing it. And the second crime scene is, okay. So yeah, the second crime scene, we're gonna go back and forth to these crime scenes for a little bit too, because they're all really interesting. So the second crime scene's greed. And it is this like guy who had to like cut a piece of a pound of flesh out of him, and I forget what the other option was, but he had to like cut a pound of flesh, and then he died tied up and stuff. And at some point the coroner also calls Somerset, and he finds like these little pieces of plastic in the digestive system of the guy who died from gluttony. And I'm like, how did he find these little pieces of plastic? I'm sure they do such a thorough test. I'm just like, it's crazy. Like they're just tiny little, like they look like the size of like the mechanical pencils you would use,
like number 7 or
like
007,
the like lead, like it looks like the
005.
size of like the lead in the pencil. And so he goes back to crime scene. Somerset goes back to crime scene 1 and puts them. He like looks in the refrigerator and he puts the plastic on this like ledge, and he's like, "Oh my god, these are from the fridge." So something was toxic about the plastic that he ate that caused some kind of chemical reaction, probably too. I don't really know, but he pulls the fridge out and he sees the word gluttony on it, and then greed was written on the second crime scene. So then he's like, all right, so there's gonna be 5 more of these.
Yep.
And he's like, it's the 7 deadly sins. And the captain is like, yeah, blah blah. And so then Somerset goes to research more of the 7 deadly sins, and he's at the library, and then Mill's trying to do his own research too. And then they both show up to work in the same office, and they're all awkward because he's at like the main desk, and he's like, oh, you should sit here, this is going to be your office. And he moves to the side, and then the phone rings, and they're both looking at each other, and he's like, it comes with the office. And so Mills picks up, and it's his wife, and his wife wants to speak to Somerset, which is like such a silly part. And she invites him to dinner, and so they go to dinner, and he sees the house, and Mills comes in and plays with his dog, so you see he's just like a very happy, simple guy. And then they sit down for dinner, and like this train is like goes by, and it shakes the whole house. And they're like, yeah, our landlord really fucked us. And Morgan Freeman starts like laughing really hard. That's the cute part I was talking about. And they all just kind of smile and laugh for like a little minute, and it's like, we can all get along for a minute.
Yeah,
because of Tracy.
Slumlords. Exactly. Slumlords bring us all together. Yeah.
And so let's see here.
Oh, that's a big laugh.
I know.
Damn,
oh my god, that should be like a poster. Like every poster of him,
Morgan
he's
Freeman
they always
laughing.
make him really serious, you know. And I'm like, look at that.
It's oddly terrifying, if I'm being honest about it.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It could. Now that you're saying that, I like when he laughed like that. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen him laugh that hard on camera. Like,
If they were like, never do that again in any film.
Nah, yeah, I watched like one of his old films. He was young, played a pimp, and he was not a nice person in that
Oh my
movie. He was.
god, that's
Isn't
scary
that
when like one of
crazy?
your like favorites is like so like I
Yeah.
was talking about that in the last one, like when John Goodman plays an evil person, I'm like,
Stop.
Dad.
Stop.
Yes. So anyway, so um they decide to go. I forget why they decide to go to. So the guy Eli Gold is who dies. He's like a very like big lawyer. Is it? He's a lawyer or some kind of like crime investigator in this town, and I guess he was shady, and so um he was greed, and they find out that's when they find out that it's like forced attrition, like where like these people are being forced to do something to make like a sermon basically for the serial killer. And Mrs. Gold, his wife, they go to see her and they're like, we need to see if you see anything that's off, because like this guy's leaving clues, and like, is there anything in your apartment that looks different? And so they're like basically forcing this like trauma victim to be like looking at the trauma photos. She's like, I can't do this, and they're like, please just do it. And then she's finally like, wait, I see something. The painting is upside down. So they go to the painting, and the painting has nothing. They cut it open, there's nothing on the back. And so then Morgan Freeman gets up on the wall and he starts putting like fingerprint stuff on the wall, and it spells out in fingerprints, help me.
Ooh.
And they're like, okay, we gotta do a fingerprint test. So they do the fingerprint test and they ID this guy. Okay, so it said Victor. I thought it said Victor Allen in the movie, but then there was another name on IMDb, and I was like, what the fuck? So this guy, last name Allen, gets ID'd, and he has a crazy past. He's like accused of like raping and drug dealing and having all these mood disorders and stuff that have led him to going to psych wards. And they are like, we gotta go SWAT him. So they go to his apartment, and Morgan Freeman is perplexed, and Mills is like, this feels off, right? And he's like, yeah, this just doesn't seem like our guy. And they get in there, and there's all these fucking air fresheners all over the apartment, and they're so you
that's
know something
crazy,
like
too.
stinky's coming.
Yeah.
And then we see him, and Victor Allen's on the bed, and he's like got like he's just been like kind of like rotting. I don't even know. There's like so much going on. His dick is like in something, but they say, and like they cut off his hand. So that was the hand that he used, but it leads you to the next crime scene, which is sloth. And sloth is like about laziness or indolences. I didn't really understand it that well, but I guess being like messy and just not being let's look up sloth. What do you guys think sloth is of the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah. I don't know. All I'm thinking about sloth is that I'm gonna go behind the scenes and see a baby sloth on the 28th.
It's like procrastination or just like being lethargic, not caring.
Yeah.
Failure to do things that one should do.
Yeah, procrastination is probably a good word for it then.
Yeah. So I guess like a drug dealer.
God, I'll mow the lawn. God.
I know. Out of all of them, it doesn't seem like it's worth getting murdered for.
I know. Like you're just like, I mean, I thought it was going to be like the rape or something, but that's coming up. Yeah, it's this weird one. And then they get next to him, and then the guy who's like looking at him with a flashlight gets really close to his face. Again, these guys get so close to all the nasties, and he's like right in his mouth, and he's like, you deserved it. And the guy's like, he's like not dead. And so they've literally, like a sloth though, he slowly drawed out this guy's death. And the coroner's like, that guy could die in like a second if we flash a light in his eye. He suffered really hard, even though he did really terrible things too. And so then at some point Tracy calls Somerset again, and she's like, can you meet me to talk? And they talk, and she tells him that she's pregnant, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And then Somerset tells her that he could never be a dad, and so he kind of like convinced his partner to have an abortion when she got pregnant.
Damn.
and you're like, ooh, weird part.
Yeah, what? It's
but
a little
then
bit of
he's
David
like-
Fincher just being like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, career first, you know?
Yeah. And so it was interesting. But he goes, but you know what? Whatever choice you do is good for you, and you should do that. So, he says like a thoughtful thing where he's like, I still think about it, but he also couldn't bring a kid into the world that he works in, which is fair. Lots of foreshadowing going on though.
Mhm.
And
Lots of hanging out outside, like with your husband's partner. You know what I mean?
which is interesting.
Yeah.
But then she basically tells him that she hates it there and she wants to move, and like everything looks so dangerous. And he's like, I'm not the person to talk about this. And so then Somerset and Mills talk about the killer's abilities and stuff. And then they go to a pizza place and they meet this guy who can list. So he pays him, Somerset pays this guy at this pizza place that I guess works at libraries, and he can pay him under the table to just see who's checking out all these books, because he figured out that like whoever's doing all this has been reading about this. So like if we see a list of books about the 7 deadly sins, we can trace that person, but it's illegal to do. So he like breaks the law a little bit.
Ooh.
And they find the guy's name, and it's under, of course, Jonathan Doe. And they go to his apartment, and they're standing outside the apartment, and John Doe shows up and starts shooting at them. And then this crazy chase begins.
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. Just
Me too.
like
When he's like, "Chapa!" You're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
What's
so-
going out?
I also
Guns
like at
a-blazing.
groceries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was like doing errands, and he's like, oh shit. And then,
Yeah, he just shoots him, and then he takes off. And Mills tries to chase him, and then he gets behind this truck, and he's on top. The killer's on top of the truck, and he hits Mills in the head, and then disarms him, puts his own gun at his face, and then leaves him with his gun and runs away to be like, I could kill you. Bye. And then while they're getting like patched up and stuff, he calls from that apartment, and he's like, oh my God, I admire you guys so much. Like, I shouldn't be mad that you tried so hard, but you did set me back a little bit. So and they're like, he's just being really like, you listen to me.
yeah.
And Mills does not like that. And then Morgan Freeman's just kind of like, this is my life. And he just, yeah. I feel like Morgan Freeman's character is a little on the spectrum, and like the best, like there's like, he's just like, yeah, and like he's just a beautiful mind. But like it's like that's just who he is. He's just not emotional. He's been in this for the years too, but also I think there might be something like that going on with this character that they don't get into. But it's really funny how he's just like able to not get riled up, and like it's interesting kind of thinking about which person you are in the two of them, how you would react. Because he's so calm, and then Mills is just like, like this fucking guy. And imagine like getting disarmed like that, and then
so emasculating.
and then the guy is like, yo, you listen to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's just getting like demasculated left and right, and he's boiling at this point.
Yeah.
He's cooking. And they are starting to like look around the apartment and stuff. They find like all these journals. These journals are crazy, weird, narcissistic things. There's like a part where he's talking about being on a train. It's another reason why I was like, it could be New York. But he's on the train, and he was talking to some guy, and he like throws up all over them. And then he like starts laughing, and he's like, we're all just little sinners running around. And it's like, okay, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they see in the photo lab, they see more of the victims, so they're like, fuck, this is the next one. And let's see here.
That's true, because like they have access to the entire apartment now.
Yeah. And then at one point, Mills is like, you're right. He's preaching to us because of how his journal entries were logging. And then, that takes them to this BDSM shop. They find like a receipt or something, or they see the blonde. There's something in the pictures they see. So they go to a BDSM shop, and they pulled this one. This is like one of the peak. This is like a part where it starts getting spookier, I feel like. they go into the BSM shop and they're like, "You made this for him?" And he's like, I thought he was doing art. Like,
Yeah.
it's you don't see what it is. And then he's like, "Wait, give me the photo." And they take the photo. And they find the next crime scene. They go to the crime scene, and it is at this place called the Hot Home. And it's like a place for sex work. And they go down in the basement, and there's just this man, and like this guy's like, "Wait, are you guys here for the crime scene? You got to see this shit." And he goes in, and like there's this like guy on the bed, and you don't know what's happening, but he's just like, "Get this thing off me, get this thing off me." And he's like super triggered. And then it cuts to them talking in like a detective's room setting, and they're like, "So like, who do you know?" They're obviously suspects, and the guy's like, the guy tells him that he like tied him up and put this contraption on him, and put a gun to his head and made him fuck this prostitute with it. And then you see them slide the photo across the table, and it is like this awful fucking knife dildo. It's honestly so extra. It made me laugh. I was like, "Josh, you saw this when you were 19." Were you screaming in the theater at that part?
No.
Okay, no, that's so funny. I just like feel like anyone who sees that part, you're like, "Damn, what the fuck is this guy doing?" It's so mean. It's awful. It's like, oh my God. It's awful. And so anyway, this guy he was like, "I did it. I fucked her." And it's like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we cut to a bar scene, and they have this hero champion speech. And Mills basically is like, "I know that you think that like you can just live this life where in nihilism where like everything's bad and you just are like, this is just how the world is, but I don't believe in it. I think that there's something worth fighting for, and I'm not gonna like sit with you on this shit." And I think it's kind of like a heart to heart, even though they're both kind of like being like, "This is who I am. This is who I am." And Mills goes home to snuggle Tracy, and Somerset goes home, and he's alone, and he's just throwing knives at the he's like a dartboard, but he has like a hand knife.
That's
Fun
cool.
fact, he's actually really talented in that, and he really can just throw it on one throw, get it like on the target. That's like Morgan Freeman's like real talent.
Why does he have that talent? I feel like you have to like that's ninja training.
I can like see him being like, "You don't just throw knives sometimes." His beautiful voice.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that accent. That's
but you know what I mean? Like when you hear his voice, it's so relaxing. It's like I like to do it on a Sunday afternoon. Just I can see him making like a whole speech about how relaxing it is to throw darts. He's just the best. Okay, anyways. Let's see here. So then Sunday, we find another crime scene. It's Sunday, and this one is Pride. And it is a model by the name of Rachel Slade, and he disfigured her, and they basically figure out like she had the choice to live like disfigured or to die with pride and swallow all these pills.
damn.
And that's a tough pill to swallow.
Hey.
But he took her nose off and then bandaged her up, so she could have lived, but she decided to die. And then let's see here. You'll be. I can't read my own handwriting again, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Somerset stays, and he says he decides to stay on because he was supposed to retire by now, and he's like, "I'm going to stay on if you will have me." And Mills is like, "No, please." Like, and I think they're finally starting to work together.
Oh.
And then Somerset's like, "You'll be doing me a favor." So they're like having a heart to heart. They go into the station, and then you see this guy get out of a cab in front of the same station, and he's got like bloody hands. And you're like, "Oh no, it's John Doe." And he like walks into the police station behind them, and he's like, detective, and they turn around and everyone's looking at him, and he's like, you're looking for me, and his like fingertips are all bloody and shit. And they get him on the ground, and like Mills is like, get on the ground, and he's like slowly going down. He's like, faster, get on the ground. You know, he's like wanting to dominate this guy so bad. And it's fucking Kevin Spacey, and so it's like terrifying.
It's terrifying for multiple reasons.
Terrifying. He is so scary, and
as like a human being, and then just like
yeah,
you're like, oh shit, yeah,
totally. And then he's like, I'd like to have my lawyer. I'm not speak to you guys, and the lawyer says that there are 2 more bodies, and he wants to take the detectives to them.
Damn.
And if they don't, then it just makes them look bad, because it's like, oh, like, you're just not going to worry about these other 2 bodies. You don't deserve a proper burial or to be found. We don't know if they're fully dead yet. And so they take the offer. So then like all the SWAT teams and everything gets them all buckled up. They're taking him out. He's taking them to the place, and they have this long car ride out to the desert. And that's when it gets like so cringe because he's like telling them how he planned everything. And it's like, he's just like preaching. He's preaching hard. And Mills is like, shut up. And then like they get into this one off of like who's more powerful. And he's like, I just want you to know that the only reason you're living is because I let you. And like the whole time they're fighting, Mills is like, yeah, right. You're dumb. You don't got shit. And Morgan Freeman again is just quiet and like, just kind of like, can we just get there? This is my life. And then, so they get to the spot, and, John Doe's like, what time is it? And Morgan Freeman says 7:01. He's like, it's close. And then they get a van coming in. Everyone's like, there's a van coming in. And the van, Morgan Freeman stops the van. The guy, he's got like his gun out, and he's like, what's in the box? And he's like, I don't know. This guy just paid me this much money to drop this off. And he brings the box to him, and they're all like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? And then he starts opening it. And while this is happening, Mills has a gun to John Doe's head out in the middle of the desert. They take him out further to isolate him. And he's like, I always really have admired you. He's like still just pissing. Anyone who watches this is also feeling Mills. You're like, just shut up. And he's like, they're like, why would you murder all this? At one point too, just a little backtrack in the car ride. He's like, they're like, why, if God is real and all this stuff is real, like, why do you think he wants you to murder? And his reasoning was that sometimes you have to like shake everybody out of reality to get them to see like what is what is it? Yeah, you got to shake. This is what he says. His motivations were to shock the world out of their own empathy or apathy. Sorry, I just did it again. Apathy. So like, that's his whole thing. So then he thinks he's like about to be done, and he's like
yeah, you could see like the end, like you can see like the relief that he's like almost done with this fucking psycho. You know what I mean? Like the idea that like you're reaching the end. Yeah.
And then like it's so frustrating too, because you're just like, what the fuck is this guy what's about to happen? You have no idea. There's 2 bodies left.
Yeah.
So Morgan Freeman, we snap to him with the box. He's like, we got blood. And then he opens the box, and he's like, John Doe's got the upper hand. Everybody lay low. Everybody. And then like, so he starts his little speech to Mills, and we see, so he starts running. They're like both really far apart from each other. So Morgan Freeman's like running towards Brad Pitt and him. And while this is happening, John Doe starts talking, and he's like, I've always admired you, and I really love your wife, Tracy. And he's like, I have to say, I mean, it's hard being this person, this like beacon, because, I never got to have a family or like have kids like you, and your wife is so beautiful. And I have to say, that's my sin, is envy. So I took her pretty little head. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, like, but I always admired you. And like, then finally Morgan Freeman gets over there and he's like, okay, put the gun down. And so then Mills is like freaking out. And
What's in
he's
the
like, what the fuck is in the box? And
What's
he's
in the
like, what is he talking about?
box?
What is happening? And at this point, Somerset's just trying to relax him. He's like, listen, it's okay. Just put the gun. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? And once he puts it all together, Somerset's like, if you shoot him, he wins.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ugh, and like shoots him. And then that's the 7th one, which is Wrath.
Yeah.
And then it's like a very sad very sad ending. And it is Tracy's head, and he does win. He like looks like he's like enlightened by when he shoots him in the head. And then they're putting Detective Mills into the car, and the other police officers are like, what are you gonna do? He's like, give him whatever he needs. Like, he needs it. And then he's like, what are you gonna do now? He's like, I'll be around, saying like, I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
And then he quotes Hemingway, and he's like, the world is a fine place and worth fighting for. I agree with the second part. And then it ends. It's so heartbreaking, but also such foreshadowing for Mills. Like, he totally could not handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. He was young, and like he was used the entire time. You know what I mean? Always a step behind him. And like it's crazy to me because it's like he turns himself in with bloody hands. And so from like that moment on, like the power dynamic between John Doe and Mills is like, he's playing with him. He's toying with him the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's so iconic, just the like, what's in the box? What's in the box? What's it? Like this, oh man.
Oh,
like,
and it's so sad how he's got the upper hand. He just like gives it to him. Like, he's so complacent the entire time. It's crazy. And Brad Pitt does such a good job of being so vulnerable and just fucking shooting him. And it's like crazy that you feel bad. Like, you're like, no.
Yeah, because that's what the John Doe wants.
Yeah, he wants him to shoot him. And like, they actually filmed 2 endings for this.
Really?
Where he doesn't, and like whatever, but then Brad Pitt was like, no. You gotta have that, like, hey.
Because you want to make him human. You know what I mean? It's very human to
It's like, do you kill the guy who just murdered your wife? Oh, and then some point between when he's like, if you shoot him, he wins. He's like, oh, and it was really hard to kill the young one inside her. And he's like, what? And he's like, oh,
God.
And then fucking,
oh, yeah, that's right. Because you hadn't told him yet.
He's like, oh, she never told you. Like, just fucking ripping him to shreds.
Jesus. It's like one of those movies where the villain like absolutely wins. You know what I mean? Like, in every way. It's crazy. And like,
yeah. It's fucking awful. And
yeah, it'd be so rough.
What, to have your wife and your
it'd
be rough. It'd be a little rough.
Don't kill him.
Oh, it upset me. This movie shook me a little. I was like,
good.
oh, I hate that.
That's what
cinnamon
Cinema's supposed to do.
It's like so heartbreaking because they make her so sweet too. Like, innocent. They only put that like conversation in there.
Yeah, to humanize her.
Yeah, to like give her this like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. And then they fucking kill her and the baby. It's so awful.
Yeah, they make you care about her, then they like cut her head off. Isn't that insane?
Yes.
Yeah, David Fincher, man. This is early David Fincher too. Man.
It's fucking crazy.
So, like,
yeah, it stuck with me. And I was like, damn. Like, and then Brad came home and I was like, hey, I just rented this. If you want to watch it, it's crazy. Because I feel like Brad would actually also find that a good watch.
Yeah.
And he's like, the Rapids are about to be on. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to lose this rental in 24 hours. He's like, I'll watch it. I was like, okay, it's a rental. And he just like was like, I gotta watch sports.
That's
sports.
I was.
That's
like,
tough to watch the Rapids too, because the Rapids aren't very.
I know,
good
it's like his joke he has been doing. Have you heard his joke
Se7en.
right now that he's been doing about soccer? He's like, it's the only game where you can tie, and like, I think that's why Americans don't like it because, no, we gotta dominate, and so like. A game ending in a tie, it's like this joke. It doesn't have a punchline. It just doesn't make you feel. And I was like, oh my God.
That's interesting because like I love watching the Premiership's way more fun than watching the Rapids, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like a tie is fine. You know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do you like competitions?
Okay, so in hockey, when they do a shoot off, it makes me mad.
Really?
Competitions.
It makes me mad because I'm just like, this was such a good game. We're tied. Can't we just fucking?
Nah, I like the winner loser.
But then a shoot off, I feel like it's like, to me, it's almost like a comedy contest or some shit where I'm like, okay, like this is so stupid. Like you're being boiled down to like, it's like a laughs per minute thing to me too. Like it's like, okay, like in reality, people end up liking comics for whatever they do. And it's like, there's so many different types of comedy. Why would we compare it? That like, there's not, people don't do that with like music, you know, like you are constantly looking for new music to listen to, and like there's constantly new music out there, and that's the beauty of life, and that's the same thing with comedy.
They have music competitions that people
Battle
win.
of the Bands.
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, I just hate competitions. I feel like it's like a weird capitalist thing where it's like, again, someone has to be dominated. And so it's like, here's this beautiful hockey game, and then we're just doing a shoot off.
Part of the beauty is that somebody loses. I think it's not
a shard off.
Shard off. I made it a shard off. That'd be great.
I feel like a shoot off is like so. It's just not like there's so many things that go into it just going wrong. I feel like
that's okay. Like I think when you lose, like it's okay to lose because it's temporary, and then you like play another game.
To tie?
It's not like I don't know if it's not necessarily that it's bad to tie. I think it's just more fun when there's winners and losers. Okay. Does that make sense? It's like I don't think it's like a bad thing to tie and like leave the game. Yeah, but it's fun. Like I don't know. Do you like winners and losers?
I mean, I get that there's more of a sense of closure with that. They're like, okay, we did it.
Sure.
The outcome has been determined. With a tie that's it's more vague.
Yeah, I like when there's stakes because then people give better effort, I think. But I don't know.
Says the winner of the comedy competition.
But also like you're on Limestone, right?
Yeah.
It's a very good festival. I applied for Limestone. I was one of the last cut. And so like in terms of that, it's like you got Limestone, I didn't. And it doesn't really negatively affect me, but it does like make me want to like it reminds me that like I want to continue to try hard at this thing I love.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I can see that.
Yeah.
But see, like a lot of people get it too. So like it's not like there's one. See, I just don't like it when someone's like, I want to be the best.
How come you guys didn't tell me about Limestone?
What?
Did
you want to apply? You can apply anytime you want.
Yeah.
Where do I go to do that?
Oh,
limestone.com.
I'll send you the festival list I have. Someone sent me. Yeah, you just submit every year, and I mean, I submitted for a long time too, but I just feel like being the best is not my goal in comedy.
I think that's such a weird. Whose goal is to be the best? Like that's like you listen to Michael Jordan, you listen to Kobe Bryant, they are insane. You know what I mean? Like they're like about like the want to like never lose is like more important than the want to win and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I do like competition. I do, or not like
maybe
not like actual competition. I like the opportunity to try my best with stakes involved, and it's okay if you win, it's okay if you lose, type thing.
Okay.
You learn different things from
sports. There are winners and losers. Comedy subjective, art subjective.
I feel like that's what I feel. Is like I feel like art. It's just different.
So
than
you're
sports.
more drawn to something that's like, okay, there is a clear person that's the best here.
Yeah. I did Forge Funny Assist on Wednesday, and a lot of Denver comics went up, and only one of them got through to the semifinals.
That's why I didn't go submit this year. I was like, I can't watch these younger comics do better than me.
Really?
I gotta just pull myself out because it hurts my ego too much. So it's like, and I know it's like
kill the ego, man.
It's subjective, so just don't put myself through it.
All right.
I did join the Comedy Works one though. So
that
really? Being said, I did.
Oh yeah, I saw you. You're on the first week, aren't you?
Yeah.
June 7th?
I just want a good tape. That's really all I'm going for.
June 7th, everybody. Come out, support JD Lopez at the New Faces Comedy Works competition.
Yeah.
Going up against Lizzie Wolfson again. She beat me in a Fort Collins comedy competition years ago, and now we've always been pinned up against each other.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That was forever ago.
Back.
Yeah, I didn't move on in that, or maybe I don't remember. I don't think I did. I feel like I crumble in contests because I'm like, oh, I gotta compete against people. Like, this is weird. I just don't think about comparing myself to other people when I'm on stage. So
That's
like
probably the
then
best way to
being
be.
forced to do it makes me lose my mind a little bit.
That's fair. I also don't think competition is necessary. I just like it.
No,
you know what I mean?
that's good.
Like,
That's good. No, I think it's fine. I totally understand and respect people that do it. And that is totally fine. I'm doing the contest even though I hate it. And that's because, your therapist always tells you to do things that scare you.
Healthy risks.
And I'm here for it, but it does crush me every time. I've never moved on in the New Faces contest.
Oh, really?
No.
Damn,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I know. It's
Me
because
either.
I think I
Really?
get...
Me either. Yeah.
That I did know.
Yeah.
I think
My ego.
But I don't know. It's weird. I feel I have moved on in other contests, but like I think I am like I get in my head like when I'm on stage and I like can't focus. It's weird. And it's weird because like ADHD people are supposed to do really well under pressure, but I think I just like shut down in contests like that.
Interesting.
But who knows? I mean, it's good for some people though. So I was trying to the ending really stuck with me in this film, and I looked up just more about it, and yes, it just means the killer just completely wins in this whole fucking plot. And then it was that his own motivations were just to shock the world out of its own apathy. And someone said that Mills' murder of Doe brings him down to the killer's level, which by Doe's own logic proves that no one, even the nicest, most admirable person, is above sin. And I was like, that sucks.
I don't know if it brings it down. It definitely brings Mills down to a human level. I don't know if it brings down to the killer's level.
But I think being human is to that we all sin.
Yeah, which I think is fine. I don't think it's I'm not
it just sucks that it proves what he's saying.
It's true. Yeah, but it's to me there's so much humanity in being that angry, to love somebody so much and to have it taken away from you so unfairly.
How do you show it in that moment? And honestly, I feel like Tracy would have been fine with him doing either. I think she would have been like, yeah, fucking kill that bitch. Or she would have been like, let's take him to court and make him suffer.
I think Tracy would have not wanted Mills to kill the killer.
You think so?
I think she would have been maybe not forgive, but prove him wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Tracy, I think sees the best in Mills.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. So she probably would have wanted him. But also, this guy just confirmed everything that she was having fears about. He fucking...
Oh, damn. I didn't know it was made by New Line Cinema. Dang, this is a Weinstein production? That's crazy. It has Kevin Spacey and it was produced by Harvey Weinstein.
Ooh,
Morgan Freeman's not an angel either. Just
that's true. That's true. Yeah. So this is the most problematic movie. Yeah. Did you not know that?
No. What happened?
I don't know the details. I just know that stuff came out.
I think he was having sex with his granddaughter, his adopted granddaughter or something like that, and then her boyfriend found out and killed her.
Wow. Is that true?
That's what I heard.
That's what you heard? Google
oh Morgan my Freeman. God.
That's is it that's I just didn't think Morgan Freeman was that incestuous. You know what I mean?
Can't believe it. Yeah. I literally have been.
There's some people like Woody Allen too, marrying his daughter.
No one's good. That's why we should all be in contests. That's what we need. No one's good.
Having sex with granddaughter.
God, well, at least it's not incest.
Step granddaughter.
So she's not blood.
No. But I mean, neither was Woody Allen's daughter. So
no. I mean, it's still fucking weird. How old was she?
Morgan Freeman. Damn.
Wow.
She was.
Yeah, and then her boyfriend found out or whatever, and then murdered her.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
So that's messy for sure. I don't know. Okay, how old is this woman though?
33.
80-year-old adopted her. His biological mother. Blah blah blah. trying to find how old she was.
33.
33.
you see it?
So,
Yeah, stabbed 25 times that signed her.
oh my
name.
Jesus
God.
Damn, 2015. This was like
That
8 years
reminds me
ago.
of like when you were saying
How have I
people
not
don't
heard more
just
about
stab
this?
once. And I'm like, oh my God, they don't.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
So she was 33 and he's like 80.
That's like very messy for sure. I
and
mean,
also the daughter of the woman you adopted. That's not great.
that's so bad. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
nobody, the theme of this whole thing is don't expect much.
Yeah,
and-
absolutely. Yeah, because like, yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I heard he
we're
wasn't a
all,
great dad.
we're
Yeah.
not above sin.
Yo,
Oh my God.
That's
Way to bring it all in, guys.
That's beautiful, man.
Okay.
They were terrifying.
It's terrible.
It's beautiful, like a forest fire.
So I just want to go over some little things that were cool about the movie.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, absolutely. Positivity.
Well, I mean, I guess it's interesting. So some of the actors really had to like go into some hard things too for this movie. Obviously, if it's a Weinstein production.
Yeah.
But so the sloth guy, the actor Michael Reed, he's only 98 pounds for that movie to look. He like got down to 98 pounds. Isn't that insane? And he went through 14 hours of prosthetic application, and then he had to lay there for like long periods of time during that movie. And then Gene Borkin actually got stuck to the floor, the guy who's supposed to cut a pound of flesh out of his body. Like they actually had to like get him off. He got stuck to the floor from like whatever adhesive they were using. And then something interesting that I thought about this movie, though, is that none of the violence actually happens on screen that you see. It's all implemented, which to
Implied?
me... Just did it again.
Damn, you really...
Implied, yes. It just happens. It's a bad habit, or it's part of me. I don't know.
It's just how you are.
It's just who I am. And so, so you don't see anything on screen, which to me is like beautiful way to film, because I think slasher movies are fine or whatever, but sometimes I'm like, okay, we can hint trauma too. I mean, if it's like a slasher movie where it's like supposed to be slashery and it's like the effects are what people are there for, I get that. Yeah. But I also feel like we don't need a fucking 5-minute rape scene all the time. You know, sure. Like we can fucking be like, this happened. It's terrible.
Also,
and
the reactions are all there. Like you still get the reactions.
You get everything. Exactly. The drama is what we're here for.
Exactly.
And then the library scenes are actually filmed in the same place that they filmed the library scenes in the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I was like, oh my God, I have seen this library before. And then
somebody stop me.
During that chasing scene, I mean, when you see him running after John Doe at his apartment building, you're like, whoa, there's glass everywhere. Turns out Brad Pitt did actually get cut so badly that he needed a cast. So they had to like edit out his arm for the rest of the movie.
Oh, damn.
And then people that could have been casted in this. So they were thinking that Mills would have been possibly Denzel Washington.
Oh, interesting.
Tracy might have been Christina Applegate. And Somerset could have been Al Pacino. I'm like, what a different movie this would have been. With Al Pacino and Denzel Washington.
Denzel, dude.
That's like a whole
crazy.
That's like a very different power dynamic on screen.
Yeah. So yeah, Denzel and Christina Applegate. That's crazy. Interracial couple in 1995.
They were like, ew, we're already doing a lot in this film.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow was one of the one of Weinstein's like favorites, right? Like
she probably.
Yeah, I mean, she was just in a lot of Weinstein films.
Yeah, she was.
Which is kind of crazy. Yeah, she has a candle. Everybody says that she has a candle that smells like her vagina.
Oh yeah, with that goop stuff. Yeah,
Erykah Badu has that too. The pussy perfume. Right?
Okay.
And she's like, the people want it. I want to like smell it so bad. I really do.
Yeah.
Don't you guys want to know what her vagina? I mean, she's like giving it to you. That's like consent. It's like, what is this? What is a perfume that's supposed to smell like a vagina smell like?
Do you think they smell different?
I do think people's vaginas probably smell different.
Yeah, they do.
I've
Not
had-
like
Especially
crazy.
if something
Yeah,
bad's
not
going
crazy. I
on.
mean, there's a
Yeah.
baseline, same.
But then there's like
samesies.
there's like your memory stores it in. You'd
We're
be like,
more-
oh, I remember.
Guys, we're
this
more alike than we
vagina.
are different. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I want you to remember that.
Yeah, I think dick cheese smells different too.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Jeez,
And
wow.
one time my friend hooked up with this guy and she said she couldn't get the smell of his dick off her hands. And also-
Dirty
I'm
was his
telling her I'm
dick.
sorry. All right.
I know, it's so wait, also when I worked at Planned Parenthood, we have like neutralizing sprays in all the rooms
Oh, interesting.
because sometimes people come in for BLV and it'll be a little spicy BLV and
What's that?
BLV,
Yeah, I don't know.
bacterial vaginosis. BV.
Yeah, we're not in the biz. You gotta.
That's
I just
right.
like
Dumb it down
I like
for
making
us.
it sound like a spicy meal. A BLV.
That does not make me
But-
want to eat it. It does-
No, it's not.
don't try to trick
It means
me.
that the pH level of the vagina is off.
Oh, okay.
And it causes a
that one
funky
would smell different.
smell. Yeah. So causes a funky smell.
Mm.
And sometimes when they come in, or if they have a really bad infection, it's gonna smell. It's just gonna smell. It's everybody. And so sometimes when people have smelly genitals, we gotta spray the room down and then we can't room people in it for like a little minute.
Mm. Just because it sticks around.
It's like a
Heavy like musk.
it's a musk.
So you
That's
just
right,
put the
yeah.
vagina candles, and everywhere smells like that.
One time
That's
I went
right.
in and I was like, woo! And the nurse was like, yeah, imagine being like 4 feet away. And I was like, oh my God.
Just staring you at the face. It's like your eyes are watering.
Yes.
fucking-
Dude, nurses do so much crazy shit. My one friend was like, oh yeah, she's been on the pod. Skylar, she was like, I wipe so many asses. And now
I
I do
believe
too.
that.
It's fine. But yeah, you gotta deal with the nasty
It's fine.
sometimes.
It's fine.
I'm getting paid well for it.
Good.
Good.
I mean, it's good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I'll wipe an ass.
I was curious. Do you go from the front or do you go to the back?
Oh yeah. Front back.
So they stand up.
So you don't wipe forward, you wipe to the back.
Yeah, I was listening to something like this guy was saying he like wiped his dad's ass for him, but he said he made it sound like he just went through the
Oh,
the
God.
front and just wiped
Oh,
it while
wipe
his dad was
forward?
still sitting down.
Like up the balls?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he didn't like wipe,
God.
but like he went through the gap. And I was like, is that how you're supposed to do it?
I go like front.
So
I get
he
to
has
the
to, like,
gooch
stand up
and
for
then I
you to,
pull it
like-
outward if it's a
Like, are
male
their
body.
legs
They
up?
have to stand
Or
up a
like-
little bit.
Yeah,
but
I
they
have them
stand up.
stand
They have
up.
to squat.
I have
Yeah,
them
yeah.
stand up and
Okay.
bend over.
Do you guys make
and-
small talk?
Well, the one kid that I've been doing it with is nonverbal, so he giggles sometimes, and I'm
Does
like,
he?
and I just don't respond.
He's giggling? That's when he.
I think. Well, if you think about it, like
It's
imagine.
an embarrassing situation. I could
Yeah, like, if-
uncomfortable.
I feel like he's just like,
It's true.
you're here.
Sometimes I
you
don't know what
know,
to do
and-
at doctor's offices, so I
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah, I feel like
I
I'd be
cough.
laughing too. So I think he's just like he's just trying to be like humorous.
Yeah, he's just like, this is normal.
That's interesting.
My friend who used to work in nursing homes told me that she would walk in on people masturbating sometimes, and when that happens, you just like close the door and you come back in 30 minutes.
The
And
nursing home?
so she came back. She walked in this guy, and then she came back, and she's like, "You just ignore it." And you're like, "So how are you today?" And he goes, "Obviously."
Yeah, go ahead.
She goes, "Obviously you." He goes, "Wait, no." She goes, "How are you today?" And he goes, "Obviously, you know I'm fine," because he just winked it off.
Nice.
But like, yeah, I mean, I guess you got to make humor of these awkward.
Well, they be fucking too. You know what I mean, right? In nursing homes.
Oh yeah, the nursing people
Yeah.
do fuck, and they get like STDs because
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah, because
the
'cause
people in the nursing home, not the
Mhm.
nurses. Right?
nurses
Oh, yeah.
be fucking too.
Sure,
dog.
yeah.
That's
I heard they freaks
I heard they just got a lot of stuff to blow off. You know.
I'm wondering
because they don't like nothing grosses them out, so they just do everything.
They do all of
That's
that.
true. Yeah, put a light bulb over there.
Yeah, talk to Corey Healy.
Corey Healy.
His wife's a nurse.
Oh, really?
We can ask
Don't they have a
Skylar. She was
baby?
on the.
I thought about it,
Skylar's
but I was like,
I'm
I
a
don't know where
nasty
that
girl.
well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Skylar, you freak?
You freak
That would have been weird
girl?
for your
Yeah.
producer. To
I just want to
describe.
keep looking at the wrong cameras every time you switch them. You know what I mean? All right.
Oh, I haven't even been keeping up with that.
Oh, they're all recording at once. So, but then there also does a separate recording where it will do the mix down. But
Okay,
I'll do
well,
it later.
I'm gonna fuck the mix down up then. All right.
Yeah, you look great. You look great.
No, I look terrible. All right.
I feel like you look good, but
Um,
if you could sit up, Katie, I'm just joking.
I mean, I feel like
I know that couch, the sink's over there, so you did sink a little in the frame, but that's
I
fine.
know. I feel like I'm like in this couch every time I'm in it, but I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, sorry, it's the nature of the couch.
Yeah,
The nature of the couch.
there's a lot of people in their early in their careers. There's Brad Pitt. This is like he's been established as a movie star, and he's doing like an avant-garde film in this. It's David Fincher's
So
one of
hard
his
to say.
first movies. And this is Kevin Spacey before American Beauty.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is just like a role for him and kind of like a juicy one before he goes off and becomes more of a leading man for those drama films. So it's like a lot of people earlier on in their careers all trying to make something good, like at the same time, which is really interesting.
Totally. So they're like giving it their all.
Exactly. And then like this is when Morgan Freeman was still like a character actor before people knew him for his voice.
Yeah.
Because when did Shawshank Redemption come out? Because I feel like that's the first Morgan Freeman voice movie.
No, it came out a year before this.
Oh no
Shawshank
shit!
Redemption, yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Also, just a weird part of the movie I forgot to mention. They have John Doe's fingers. Like he cut off his fingertips so that he couldn't leave fingerprints anywhere.
Oh really?
And they were like, he doesn't have fingerprints. That's why we haven't been able to find fingerprints. And I thought that was such a funny part to add into the film. Just like this bloody fingers. That's why his hands are all bloody when he's in the station. And I'm like, man, Kevin Spacey, I mean, his hands are bloody, you know?
The blood is literally on his hands.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's but it is a good movie. And, you know,
Certified Fresh, strong audience score.
Yeah. Wow. The audience score beat the tomato meter. We got 82% tomato meter, 95% audience score. Let's read some reviews.
I was curious, would you have killed Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah.
You would have shot him pretty quick?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I'd hope to never be in that situation.
But if you were.
Oh, 100%. There's no way that I'd be, because I know myself.
I feel like
I'd
I
be
would have
so
taken his ass
angry.
to court.
Would you?
You would
Yeah.
have?
Wow. And
But I
just
feel like that's such a female. Like, I feel like women are like, I will make you suffer.
longer.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
honestly, that'd make him suffer way more than getting killed.
yeah, because it doesn't complete his plan.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to see this guy like interviewed by people questioning his like prophecy. You know what I mean? Like, I want people arguing him that are atheists and shit. But that's me. I am sadistic. Do you feel like you're more of a Miller or Mills? Do you think you're more of a Mills or a Somerset?
Oh, Mills.
Mills.
Yeah, I wish I was a Somerset, but
I know.
no,
I don't know which one of
Young
them. I think I
hothead.
would be Mills, but I do think I'd be like, you know what? I would like throw the gun down and be like, no, I'm not gonna kill you. You're gonna suffer so much, because I'd be so fucking pissed. But
just because you know that would hurt him more than actually killing him.
Yeah, which I feel like women are like that. We're like, I'm gonna get into your psyche.
Get in there. Get in there.
I'm gonna get into your psyche. One time Brad was like, you needle me when we fight, and I was like, that's fair. But because we're good. But I would just be like, I say things just to be like, what do you think that would have, like, you know, how do you think that went, like, and like to try to talk about it, and he thinks that's needling.
So you bombed up there. Do you want to talk about it?
No. I don't think we really, when one of us bombs, we usually both, I've bombed, you know, so I am nobody when it comes to stand up, guys.
What? That's took like a really like.
It's a good mantra.
Yeah, I
No,
know,
I'm
like,
just saying, like, I just feel like,
Freeing.
well, I mean, I just feel like bombing is it's gonna happen. So
it's true.
if we talk about things, we usually talk about like ways to like he'll be like, oh, that'd be funny if you did this, or I'd be like, that'd be, you know.
Yeah.
But if you bomb, you know.
It's
It's like, what do you know what happened up there? the only thing I have told him is like, hey, you should record stuff because it's good to rewatch or re-listen to your set,
Yeah, I don't record and I should.
Yeah.
I'm bad at it.
Oh, you're recording now, buddy.
Hello. Hi, Josh. In the future, I hope the rash has gone away. All right.
I'm getting over a rash too.
I was joking. Thank you for your
Mine
vulnerability.
Was like all over my face. And I was like, what is this rash? And now I'm on doxycycline forever. It sucks.
Doxycycline?
Yes. It's an antibiotic. It's crazy.
You got growing up, I did what's the one that you can't have babies on?
Accutane.
Accutane. Yeah, I did Accutane. That shit fucking was
dude, that fucked me up.
dog.
That's why my liver got so fucked
That's
up. It's a fucked up drug for sure. Okay, wait. So also before we get off, so like what really scares you?
Scares me? Commitment. No.
That's true than you want to admit, but
I think what scares me is like that's a good question. Not living up to my potential, I guess, like letting people down. Letting people down is a big reoccurring thing in my life where I feel like I do it a lot, and it makes me like not like myself. And so like this idea that, and it's not even, they're not real people. They're just inside my head that I signed them to people in my life, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But just the idea of like, being a failure or being, just not living my potential and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Do you feel like you have to like prove something to your parents?
Yeah, both my parents, I feel like I have to prove something. One, after my mom had a really hard post-divorce life, and so seeing that and seeing her go through some gnarly stuff, to like, I want to make her proud and make it be like, well, she was my mother and I'm great means she's great type thing. And with my dad, it's very much like, are you proud of me yet? Are you proud of me yet? Are you proud of me? And he loves me. He tells me he's proud of me all the time, but that's not really what I'm looking for. There's
this wow factor, right?
There's inside me. Well, and it's not even him anymore. It's this idea of him that I still have that I haven't let go of.
No, I feel that,
that it's never that. Yeah. So.
No, I totally understand that. I feel like I had like a really heavy therapy session yesterday because wow, I guess people hear it here first, but I actually have a record deal to record an album.
And congratulations.
Thank you. But I told my mom, and she just like wasn't as excited as I wanted her to be, you know? And I was like, and she was like immediately being like, you might not get like 1 million plays. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like, why are you telling me that? You know? And so then I just didn't tell anyone.
You should be excited.
Except
that's good.
for like a couple people. And then I went and signed up at the club on Tuesday. And I never get up on standby. And I got up on standby and I like rushed through my set because I was just like out of my mind. And then in notes, Elliot was like, you were trying to fit like 6 minutes into like a 4-minute set. And I was like, I know, I don't know. I'm like out of my mind right now, you know? And then like I'm listening to this book about trauma, walking my dog. And it's this book. It's that book, The Body Keeps the Score. And I was just telling JD this. Do you listen to audiobooks?
Every now and again.
Do you ever rent them through the library apps?
I haven't tried that. Yeah, Jeff does that.
It's amazing. Except they're like, okay, you have a time limit.
Yeah.
So they're like, you want to listen to this like really long book and you have 21 days and you're like, it's become me. But so I've been listening. There's a book about how women, there's a chapter, literally, it's like serendipitous how this happened. There was a chapter on how women disassociate through trauma and stuff. And I think me just trying to not like, I was like, okay, like don't expect anything. It's whatever. You're just doing it. Like it's going to be fine. This is something everyone goes through. And then I was like, he's talking about it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like disassociating right now. Like I didn't tell any of my close friends or anything. After my mom kind of like killed my soul a little bit, I was just like, okay, well, it's whatever. And so I just decided to text my friend, like my closest friend Lucy, who we had on the pod last week. And I was like, I got a record label. And she called me and she was like, oh my God, that's fucking cool. And I just started like bawling because that's like that's what I was looking for.
From your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
No, thank you.
That's great. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how that shit happens. But it's like that's why I think for competitions, like I have a hard time with it because I do feel that fear where I'm like, I don't want to let anyone down. I got to be perfect, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it really draws that out of me.
Yeah, but there's swings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, like getting a record deal or getting like anything. That's another cool swing, and they have different resources that allow you to change how you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. For me, it's just like I've had thoughts about quitting so much this year.
Damn.
That I was like, okay, let's at least record this album because if you do quit, you at least have an album to look back on. It's like a time capsule.
That's true.
And that's what it's about to me. It's not about how many views I get. It's about like, hey, I did this. This is like 10 years of jokes. And that's cool. And that's something for me.
Where are you going to record at? Do you know yet?
It's either going to be at Rise or the Bug Theater.
Oh, wow.
But the Bug is like so big, I'm scared of booking it there for a first recording.
That's true.
But
there's also like, it's small, but
you could do it in here.
That's true.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that whole audience that we have. It's just me and a curtain and JD hitting the YouTube.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
at the
think
dairy you were gonna say?
No, not at the dairy.
Oh, sorry, you're saying it's a place in Boulder. That's
Hotel Boulderado, license number
place.
1. Yeah, I don't know if you've done that show, but that room is really fucking. It's like so tight.
Yeah,
and
it is
so
really tight.
If you have 50 people in there, it sounds ruckus, and that'd be a wonderful place to record.
That is a really good place. Yeah, we'll see. I thought the set like Rise or the Bug would be sentimental because Rise is where I first started improv, and the Bug's the first stand-up set that I ever did.
But old Rise comedy.
But it was Voodoo back in the day.
The Voodoo, baby.
Yeah, they changed to be more inclusive. You know?
Yes. So like you're
rebranded.
But so for your fears,
just like Morgan Freeman.
I remember when I was just doing penguin shit.
Well, thank you for sharing your fears.
For sure, always.
That's what this whole podcast is about.
Have you seen my set?
Yo, man, I'm a man. No one has ever asked me about my emotions in like 2 years. All right?
I know you did a really good job.
Thank you.
Do you feel like you're not an emotional person?
No, I'm very emotional.
I'm very emotional.
Sensitive.
Me too. Wait, when were you born?
Obvious.
Do you believe in horoscopes?
I don't throw it out, but I don't put a lot of faith in it. Does that make sense?
No, I'm saying I feel like the born at a certain time of the year thing and having certain like personality traits makes me, I'm like, okay, I can see that. But I'm not like tied to it in that sense.
No.
Wait, when were you born?
So I'm a Gemini, June 19th.
Oh my gosh, so is Brad.
Yeah, I'm bipolar too, so I'm a bipolar Gemini.
That's so crazy.
I think that's funny.
That is funny. Wait, do you have a joke about that?
Not yet. I said it on stage.
I feel
before,
no, you definitely can write a joke about that. That's so funny. Yeah, Brad's also on the cusp. So like he's like June 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juneteenth.
I think as a Cancer, I'm sensitive. But I also feel like I am like very empathetic. That's what they say. They're like, we're very caring and we care about people. And so I think I am drawn to Gemini people because I can't read them that well. And I'm like, this is fun. Oh my God, what are you gonna say? Like
it is interesting to be like, people are always like, oh, you're a Gemini. That makes so much sense. So much sense. Yeah. I get that a lot.
2 people
yeah.
in you.
Well, I mean, I get that a lot too with being a Cancer because I'm so sensitive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're supposed to be like criers and like we're really sensitive.
I could see that on you.
Yeah. I know. I just got really emotional just now.
I have this book that's like a birthday book. So when to the day you're born,
nice.
Your strengths involved.
Yep.
Persistent.
Yep.
Yes.
Challenge oriented.
Yeah, there you go.
Weakness.
That's crazy.
Provocative. Troubled. unaware.
that all checks out, dog.
I wouldn't say you're unaware. I feel like
yeah, I'm very self-aware.
yeah, I feel like you're very self-aware.
Nah.
Oh my god. I also just love the image of you watching this movie in a movie theater and like yelling. Like I wish I was there.
I don't watch it in a theater. I watched.
Yeah,
I
he said
streamed
it was a different movie.
Yeah.
The Strangers.
The
Oh, that was it.
Strangers.
Oh, that was different. Okay.
Yeah, Strangers was
Yeah,
I would have wanted to watch that because Liv Tyler's in it, and I had a big crush on Liv Tyler back in the day.
She's still.
I just like how she started dating Magnus Carlsen. Like, Chess gets you Liv Tyler now. What happened? Dog? That's crazy. It made me want to learn chess.
Just Lord of the Rings. You know, she was Arwen, so
Yeah, I've heard.
pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, are you
Big?
I've never seen
LORT
it.
fan.
A big
No.
LT.
LOT.
Lot.
Lauder. He really likes lauders.
Yeah, I got a tattoo. I'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
Does it say not all who wander
No,
are
I
lost?
don't have that one. No, that's on the small of my back.
Yes, I bet.
The small of the back.
What does it
And
say?
then my butthole's the hobbit hole door.
I love that.
Talk about the
I
shower's
bet
really gone
Mal
to shit.
gets a kick out of that. Haley and I went to the Lions Lair open mic the other night, and
that's one of my favorites.
And she went
It's a
up.
rough one sometimes.
It is.
It was actually a really good one. Actually, a lot of people did bomb, and
I love that though.
I love that mic though. I feel
Yeah.
like Crawford gives a really good energy to it.
Yeah, learn how to bomb. Well, the
No
quicker you
way.
learn how to
Right.
bomb, the quicker you learn how to
That
be
humility
funny.
is so
think
fun.
He made that mic unfun for me, but that's
No,
just
I feel like
Wow.
I feel like it's gotten really good.
You heard it here
Opposite.
first.
When's the last
Opposite.
time? When's the last
I
time
went like
you
a month
went?
ago. I was going for like a month straight a month ago
Okay.
because I get off at like midnight now
Okay.
on Monday nights, and he makes it the Crawford show. It's I gotta cut this out. I can't put this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
There's
we
a
go
lot
back.
of Crawford, but I do like
Wait,
I
so-
do like Crawford, so
You go up. He does 5 minutes in between everybody. And then
Wow.
you don't get up and you get 2 minutes at the end at fucking 2:45 or
Really?
1:45.
You gotta get there on time.
I work till midnight.
Okay. Don't go there on a night you work because
I
he'll
can't
put you up.
go. There's no way
He
to work.
respects the people that got there on time. I do
Yeah.
notice that. But if you can go there,
Man, he gets
and
so
sign-
drunk. He doesn't know what
keep
the fuck's
this all
going
in.
on.
All right.
keep this on. I have fun, but I always get there on time. So I'm thinking that's probably also part of it.
What you're thinking.
Because one time I went there after a concert on mushrooms and I was like, I gotta go up. And it was a bad idea.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible idea. Why would you?
And then I got
You're
this
having a great night.
scary-
Like I don't understand.
I know.
Why would you ruin it with
That was
stand up?
me being like trying to
Like,
please everyone.
That's so. Yeah, I'll do a big show and then I'll go do a mic right after just to be like,
you
life
are no
is
one.
pain. Life
Yeah.
is
Sunyata, baby. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
I do love the Lions Lair, Mike. I feel like that's like learning. That's like the one of the like a dead room. Like if you can learn to kill in that room,
Yeah.
you can be funny anywhere.
I had a good
type
set.
thing.
Yeah.
And so
I did have a good set, but also, so Haley went up and he was like, this is one of my longest friends in the scene. He brings Haley up. And she was like really happy. And then she got up and she got in this like dark character. And it was just cracking me up. And she had accidentally messed up a punchline in her joke. And then she did these other bits. But she was just being really like, she was like, yeah, like being really intense. She gets off of the Crawford comes over. He's like, I love you guys. Thanks so much for doing the mic and coming through. Like, it's so good to have friends coming through. And then he was like, Haley, like, I was like, was that a Schmiegel moment? Because like she was like a different person on stage to what he sees her as.
that's funny.
And I was like, that is exactly how it felt. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. A Schmiegel moment. I was like, we all have Schmiegel moments.
That's Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
You should love
I
this.
think you're using it out of context, so I don't like it.
Oh my
I feel like you guys don't
God.
understand it enough to
Oh
be
my
making these references. So
Wait, how do
It's
I know?
upsetting me.
This
Well,
is such a fun vein to go down.
it's upsetting you.
yeah,
Or we just got to cut the whole thing out. We're gonna-
I'm just
Wait.
gonna keep saying Lions
Oh.
Lair, so he has to keep it
stick
in.
to horror films.
So
Okay,
he has
guys.
to keep it in. Okay, wait, but okay, we don't have time to go into it, but I would love to hear why. But I feel like Schmeagol is like
It'd be a whole different podcast.
there's
Katie.
Schmeagol and then there's
different-
Gollum, right?
Yeah.
So that's right because it's supposed to be
Yeah,
Gollum.
yeah.
It's a Gollum
You get
moment,
the
right?
gist of it.
It's like a Gollum moment.
It's a
not
Gollum
Schmeagol.
moment, not a
Not
Schmeagol.
Schmeagol.
Schmeagol's a nice
I just
one.
love the word Schmeagol.
Yeah.
It's a fun
It's a
name.
Yeah.
Schmeagol Gollum.
Yeah, honestly, for the listeners out there, only read The Hobbit. Don't read The Lord of the Rings at all. All right, The Hobbit's way better. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, every series has
this
its
is the
crown.
first one, yeah.
It's true.
Honestly,
The
just
books
read-
about rings, Katie. Come on.
Just read Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. All right, that is much better on every level. Like
I'm
a few,
almost done with this trauma book, so as soon as I'm done,
You should go Lord of the Rings, yeah,
yeah, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe first.
and then read the Silmarillion,
I'm listening to, or no, I'm
Don't read this
reading.
one
I'm
already.
listening
and then the Fall of Gondolin.
to The Body Keeps the Score, but I'm reading. Like I do both. This
All
book
right,
called
we get it. You're
Scholomance.
smart.
And it no, I wasn't trying to say that. I was just trying. I feel guilty saying that I like read.
Does it
this
take you
book.
longer to read when you're dyslexic?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. It takes me a lot. I'll have to like reread. But if I'm really into it, I read it faster. It's so crazy.
Huh.
But so like I'll listen to some books that are really long because I know it's gonna take me really long to read it. But I still listen to it. And I'm listening to The Body Keeps the Score, but I'm reading a book right now called Scholomance. And it's like a spookier Harry Potter book.
Yeah. Probably better than Lord of the Rings, to be honest.
And okay, well, we gotta get to these. We gotta get to these reviews.
Now you're just trying to make me mad, but
this
Honestly,
movie-
the Amazon show I thought added to the series.
I enjoyed the Amazon show.
Yeah,
You're
me
not gonna
too.
get me there.
honestly, I like the amount of battle scenes. I feel like is always so intense for me.
And then the choice to make The Hobbit into 3 movies,
People are
I
falling
think
off
brilliant.
cliffs left and right. You should find it hilarious.
I gotta go back and rewatch them all. I'll rewatch it all. I did the same thing with Star Wars. I do this. I'll go watch the whole series. Brad was like
it's a
making
chore.
fun of me because I finished Stephen King's It, and you know I really see myself in a lot of places in this book because I feel like a loser,
Mm.
and
Can we just clip that? Yeah.
I'm such a loser, and so I relate to these losers like overcoming shit and their fears. So I've been like quoting, I'm like, oh, that's like in it. And he's like, you're obsessed with it. And then I was like watching the movies because that's what you do when you finish a book
Yeah.
that has movies. And he's like, you're watching the movies now. You're obsessed with it. And I was like, I'm just,
Dude, he's obsessed with sports.
I'm like,
Are
you
you
literally,
fucking kidding
I
me?
Since
know.
when?
He is obsessed with sports.
It's just like
Since
it's the
when?
same thing, but different.
That's funny. For the longest time, the only place I saw Brad was at live sports events. And so
Yeah, no, he is a sporty guy. I feel like I've pulled him away from it a little bit. He had
Sounds
never
like
been.
he's pulling you in. You've talked about
he-
hockey every episode for like the
Yeah.
past 5 episodes.
hockey's fun to watch.
Hockey's so fun. It's so
I
fun.
love basketball too.
I feel and I d-
Hockey
yeah, I
fans
haven't-
get really annoying about basketball, but yeah. Anyways,
yeah, you
go.
know what? I do like basketball, and I just need to go to a live game. I have a hard time watching any sport on television because I'm just like it's too tiny. I can't keep track of it.
Well,
But in person, I'm like, yeah, here we go.
finals about to be in Denver, man. So
Yeah, let's do it.
So how many games are they going to play?
probably 2 more in Los Angeles. I think they're gonna win game 3, and I think they're gonna win game 4, and I think it's gonna be a sweep, and everybody and the Lakers fans are gonna be pissed.
I can't wait
Yeah.
for it to be over.
And then I think Miami. I think Miami will
spicy.
beat Boston.
No, I want them to win, but whatever.
Whatever.
All right, sorry, Katie. I've been distracting you all episode.
No,
Read some
Yeah,
splats.
it's okay. No, I was
I
like,
want to shit on Lord of the Rings more. Can we do
I didn't feel like
that
that's
and
what you were
Crawford,
doing. You're
all
saying you
right?
liked them.
okay, so here's a splat. Unfortunately, most of the scenes in Seven are unlikely, which means that by the end of the movie, the duo is battling not just an insane killer, but an off-the-wall screenwriter.
Agreed.
Boo.
Were it not for the gravity and thoughtfulness of Morgan Freeman's performance as a retiring policeman and the third act appearance of its bizarre villain, Seven would have been unendurable. That really fucked with my dyslexia for sure. Okay, the reason to see Seven, which is decidedly not for the faint of stomach, is not for punishment of sin, but for many virtues of Freeman's contribution.
Oh wow, a lot of positive.
I would say
Morgan
he does a
Freeman.
great job in
It
the
was written
film.
by his granddaughter. Oh,
Hey!
my bad.
Oh,
Sorry, she's
wow,
dead. I feel bad
bad.
now.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
Stabbed 25 times.
Yeah, that's rough.
After having an affair with her step grandfather.
It's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's
it's fucked.
crazy. Okay. Mr. Freeman has the easy. Okay, everyone just loving it. A searing, smart, and very adult crime thriller. James Crute. Okay. You know, I think a lot of people enjoyed it. I mean, for the 90s film, I felt like it was pretty edgy.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it was I like I said, I think it holds up on a rewatch. I'm not watching this once a year or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things, like if I had cable, I haven't had cable in years, but if I had cable and I was flipping around, I'd like stick and watch a couple like minutes of it.
Sure, yeah.
On
It's like on TNT. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I used to
No,
work at
totally.
a bar and I'd go through to find movies I want to watch instead of sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like, that'd be a movie I'd stop on.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's such a I love a good mystery too when you're like trying
It's
to put it
true.
together and you're like, what are they gonna do? I truly did not think he was gonna cut off her head.
Benoit
Really?
Blanc would have
What
figured
did
it
you
out
what
way
did you think
quicker.
the two bodies were gonna be? I thought it was gonna be Morgan Freeman and Mills.
So I knew about this what's in the box scene before I went to go see it.
Oh, I've
'cause it'd
never
been-
seen it.
And so like
It's a pretty big cultural.
So I
touchstone
didn't
pop
know
culture thing.
exactly that it was going to be the head, but I did know that scene was coming.
Okay.
And so, but it was so nice to have like the build up and then to be like, oh, this is
Yeah.
powerful.
I had no idea. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Are they both gonna die? It feels like something's gonna happen where they both die. But no, it was a crazy twist. Well, thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Emerson, where can people find you, and what can you plug? This will be out in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah. So I am doing the Comedy Works New Faces competition. The date hasn't come out yet, so I don't know what
Same.
date that is. We're doing the Fringe Festival, the 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're doing
Dead
it's
Room,
called-
your group, you mean?
Dead Room is, and it's it's called A Brush with Death. So we're doing different types. I'm be doing some like obviously my dead mom, but also some death of relationships type stuff. Trying to find some comedy and dramedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those type of
I love
shows.
that.
We've done some sketches, but I think it's gonna be mostly live performance. So we got 3 performances of that. I did the OnlyFans taping, and so that'll be out on OFTV and eventually.
Awesome.
Did you have
So,
sex?
I've had sex before. It was
On
great.
OnlyFans.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a comedy thing on OnlyFans.
They're
Yeah.
trying to like
okay.
make it
Yeah.
not.
Well, the way
about
he's saying
sex,
he's making
right?
it trying. I feel
It's-
like he's trying to bait some people. He's trying to catfish.
Well, it's all been fucked to shit now. All right. And God forbid I make any money. I
I think you're
this
gonna make
is-
more money because
You know
people
what?
don't want to see your penis.
Who's the one
Oh
that
my
died in the
gosh,
first
you
movie?
guys.
The one that Sean Bean played.
Is this about
Boromir?
Lord of the Rings?
Boromir. You're a real fucking Boromir. You know that?
A really good guy, actually. If you read the
Yeah.
books, A Prince Amongst
Is
Men.
this about Lord of the Rings?
The one that get.
He actually comes back from the
No, that's
rings corruption, so
exciting.
he's actually pretty cool.
Nah, I mean he sucks. And he
Are you
sucked.
still doing your native show?
Yeah, Colorado Native. We're doing it at the Boulder Comedy Festival.
that's
it's the next
awesome.
one.
Tell
and-
them about it.
Yeah, so I do a Native American comedy showcase called Colorado Native. It's a tongue in cheek
Hell
about
yeah.
the dumbass bumper stickers. And
Yeah. Fuck those.
so yeah, the next one will be Boulder Comedy Festival, and then the one after that, we're doing a 3-nighter. We're doing one with the Museum of Contemporary Art at their Holiday Theater, and then we're
Cool.
doing one up in Fort Collins at the Comedy Fort, and then we're doing one at the Dairy Art Center in Boulder. So 3 nights, just like so. If you live in any of those cities, that'll be in August.
That's awesome.
Yeah, before and then July 28th, I'm doing the Denver Art Museum's Untitled. I'm one of the Entitled artists, and so that'll be a really fun thing as
Awesome.
well. Come through on July 28th, the
That's
Denver
cool.
Art Museum.
Perfect. Is
punk
this
show.
all on your website?
It should be. I should start.
Yeah.
I
What
should.
is what is the best place for people to find all that information?
Yeah, so deadroomcomedy.com, at Danger Emerson on the socials. Yeah, for all of them. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, OnlyFans, YouTube. All right. So I am contractually obligated to put content onto OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just did Chris Wellman's Kink show last night. And I talked to the people that I was like performing with. And so I think I'm going to do something with them where they're like he's like tied up and then like that's like a mini doc, you know what I mean? To talk a little bit about rope work and stuff like that. I think it'd be fun.
That's a fun show.
Yeah. So
awesome.
What about you? What you got going on?
Well, this is a Left Hand Right Brain production. You can stream all those under Left Hand Right Brain. Well, the website's down.
The website's I'm working on.
But wherever there's lots of different podcasts under that handle. And you can find all of my stuff at katiebowman.rocks and Katie Bowman Comics or the Curly Bush on social media. You guys, if you want to like, share, review, that really helps the podcast. So please keep it coming and stay spooky. Thank you.
Lord of the Rings sucks.
With Katie Bowman.
Help Me I'm Scared is a Left Hand, Right Brain production, produced by JD Lopez, with music by Ben Kronberg.